Okay. Okay. So now, when you see the market, obviously this is what you're going to see. So, okay, let me start by doing this. Okay. Can you see what I'm doing here? Okay. We're going to cut this part out. This part, take it as it's not there. Okay. So it means our focus is going to be on this side. So now let me zoom it. Okay, what is happening now? Number one, when you want to do your technical analysis now, and one thing which is very important is when you do your analysis, please make sure that you use this strategy now to get things right. If you use technical analysis in the morning, nah, let's say at 9 and 11, and then 12. At 9 o'clock we have a big movement, and at 11 o'clock we have a big movement. Then from 11 onwards, it's half past. It's no longer o'clock, which means if you still want to be trading, you're targeting 12:30, 1:30, 2:30. You understand? 3:30, 4:30, like that. So what is happening is now in this situation, when you use the market itself, it's not like you have to claim, okay, fine, at morning I use this. No, the market itself will tell you which strategy to use. So it means that if your knowledge for the analysis is limited, then you're going to make a lot of errors. You understand? So it means you're not going to work. Then we have a lot of strategies. We have volume, we have range, we have uh, those technicals, we have fundamentals. There are a lot, but then you have to know which ones to focus on. So now in this situation, what is happening is you're going to check. First thing that you have to now you want to analyze, right? You can see that the market is here, right? At this point, this part is not there, right? So at this point, can you see where I'm pointing? This part. Can you see my turn? Hello? Are you there? Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me? All right. So first thing that you have to do, you have to check, number one, currently what is your lowest point. If you check, you can see that, okay, I have my lowest point here at 12376.04. Then you identify it by drawing a line there. Okay, now you identify your lowest point and your highest point. Okay, and then the highest point currently, we don't care about this side. Currently our highest point, and then we're moving forward, so our highest point will be this one. Okay, then after identifying your highest point, you mark it. Okay, now what is happening is the second step is you have to identify what is the trend. Is it a downtrend or uptrend? You understand? How do you even tell that, okay, this is an uptrend or is a downtrend? You look at the market structure, which means the only thing which is crucial in the situation is you have to be able to understand the market structure. Okay, so now you can see that, okay, from this point the market is dropping, but you don't know You don't know um, up to what point. You understand? You know the market goes down, goes up, goes down, goes up. You understand? So you are not sure whether the market will now go up or it will keep dropping, right? Remember, this is the only part that you see. So what you do is you're going to pull out your trend, right? And again, there is a possibility that we actually inside that trend you have another trend going on, which means it can be a downtrend, but inside that downtrend we have an uptrend. So remember, this is 4 hour time frame, you understand, which is something which takes time, right? So you have to identify those things. So okay, now you go and this is how you identify your trend. You check, you draw a straight line of best fit, right? You draw your line, which is going to be, remember, we have support and resistance, but the lines which you are going to draw now must be your trend resistance and trend support, right? So now you go and draw those lines from the peak, right? You cover only the tip of the movement. This is what is happening. Remember, this part is not there. We are focused here. So you check, okay, you only cover the tip. Okay. Remember, the line at the top serves as our what? Our resistance, and at the bottom, that will be our support. Now you are trying to identify those points, right? So if the market doesn't just move, in any direction, or maybe like the random movement, or no, it follows a certain pattern, but you have to know that pattern, and you can only get that pattern from the market structure. The market structure will give you that pattern. So if you cannot read and understand the market structure, then you are lost. The only thing you're going to do is to follow your uh, you, your signals and whatnot. And it's possible that someone can mislead you, can give you a wrong signal, but you must have a way to understand, okay, can I really take this signal? Is it right or is it wrong? So if you know those things, the basics of analysis, then you'll be able to correct those things. And then if you understand again the market structure, it means that you are not going to make mistakes when coming to entries. You know what to expect. So it means in this session, we will be talking about entry points, though there is a video, the one which I'm working on, and I'll upload it. So that one was about the entry point, but then here we're doing the analysis, and at the same time we're doing the entry points. So it covers everything. The technical has to do with the signals. As you know that sometimes I do give you guys signals which are technical, right? So now we have identified our trend, but this is not the end of it. We're not done. So what we're going to do now, we're going to, this is our resistance, right? According to the market structure. So what you're going to do now, you have to identify the support, right? So you do the same, you come here, you check the trend. So you're going to have this situation here. So now, if you can check, you see what is happening with the market. This market, there's a lot to identify, but then now what we know that, one thing we have in place is we have the trend of the market, right? The trend of the market, we can see that, okay, the trend overall, you see, as you can see, it's dropping, which means it's a downtrend. So what you do is now, where do I take my entries? You see that, okay, the market moved, it hit this point, then it had to drop, then it came back and it hit the same point, then it had to drop, and then it hit the same point and it had to drop like that. So it means that if you wanna take your buys and whatnot, you waiting for that point. You know that once it hits your support trend, right? it's going to have a movement which is going to lead us to this point. Remember, we can only call it a resistance or our support if the market structure managed to hit the same level or the same point more than 3 times, not twice. If it hit twice, if it hit like 1, 2, we are not sure. We cannot conclude anything. You understand? But now that it hit 3 times, we are sure now that something is wrong with this level. So one mistake that people make is they know, or okay, fine. They tell themselves, or okay, support and resistance are only horizontal. That is not the case. Those ones which are horizontal are the ones which you can be able to work out using the market structure. But then these ones which are diagonal, or in a situation like this, you have to work on them yourself. The market is not going to give you that. Like now, we had to, we were able to identify this, right? So, okay, now what you do is after this, you check if remember you are here, right? It hit this point, it checks out. Now you want to be sure, you want to be 100% sure, can I take this as a buy since it hit this point, or is the market going to continue and drop? You understand? You have a lot of questions. So what you have to do is now you check those points of resistance, right? Can I really conclude that at this point I can take my buy? Since I have a signal, it says I have to buy. Where is this buy coming from? Okay, now you go and check. If you can check, the market moved up here, it hit this point, then it had to drop. It came and hit the same point, then it had to drop, and then that's when we had a big movement. So it means that there will always be that one point that when you hit that point, you're going to have a big movement, right? So that the market will struggle to reach that point again. But when it happens that the market hit that point, we are going to have what? Big movement. Okay. Okay. So now here is the situation I'm talking about. Now you identify there is this point here. The market was retesting, it hit this point, we had this big movement. Okay, so you identify that point by drawing your horizontal line. Now you have identified that point. So the market gave us a big movement, then it came back again. Remember, this is what you know up to this point. Then the market came back again, it hit this the same level. You understand? It tried to break out, the same situation happened here, but then at this point, that's where we got our big movement. Okay, so now it hit here again. We're having a movement which won't just go straight to the way we want, but then now you have two situations. This point is supposed to give us a big movement, which means this point can be broken, and we're expecting that the movement which is caused by this partner should be the same as this one. You understand? It reached this point there, 1239. Okay, yeah, this point I will draw a line since I'm moving the mouse and all that is 12389. We're expecting the same movement if you hit this point and the market dropped hard. Now it's back to that point. You understand? When it hits the same point, we're expecting big movement, but when is this happening? So now it hit this point, we know that okay, this sell will continue. But now we have a situation with the trend support. The market hit the trend support. It has to follow the rules. It hit this point, so it means it's going to buy. But to what point, we are not sure. So now you check your candles. Remember, your candles are explaining something. Here you check. On your 4-hour time frame, you can see that, okay, there's a change in market direction. How do you identify that there's a change in market direction? We must have two candles which are not saying the same thing. We must have a buy candle and a sell candle at the same level. Okay, when they're at the same level, it means we're talking about situation. You see what happened here? You see they're at the same level, but these two are not the same. It's a sell and a buy. So at this point, this is a confirmation that the market is changing. Okay, and then it means all the time when we see this situation, when those two candles which are not telling us the same thing, it confirms change or the market direction. Okay, so remember, these two candles have to be equal, their position should be at the same level, and they shouldn't be the same, which means this is a situation which happens on every or in every time frame. You understand? When you are looking for those entries, the market, let the market do its swings and whatnot, but you must wait for that point where you have these two candles. You understand? It's either you know what you use for entries. It can be M15, M5, or M1, right? But you wait patiently, you wait for that one point where these candles are the same. If you don't see that, it means whatever is going on, if the signal is saying we're buying and that market is still on sale, if you see situations like this, you see there's no buy candle here, there's no buy candle here, there's no buy candle going on in this situation. The only thing that is happening now, remember, this is a confirmed sell. Now we are selling. This is a retest. It has to consolidate. Then we go down like that. The market will only change if we have two candles at the same level, which are saying the opposite. They are fighting those two. So the market is forced to change. So if you can check, let me show you what's happening. If you can check, look at this point. The market, this one, you see these two are not at the same level, right? But then remember, we need confirmation whether to take a buy or we continue selling. These two were not at the same level, though it was a buy. But then you see this candle dropped. It came to confirm that buy. You understand? Which means to you is an opportunity to add your orders. It's time for you to get your entries. Now you keep adding your orders. You check this when you add your orders. Now you look at the length of this candle. Remember, you use your entries. The time frames you use for your entries are M15, M5, or M1, right? So the previous candle, remember I said we have two candles to confirm that the market is changing. We have a sell and a buy at the same level. So now you check the previous candle, which is the opposite of what you are going to place, right? So you check the previous candle, or okay, you check the length, number one. At any point, as long as this candle, your candle where you are taking your entries, as long as that candle is still shorter than the previous one, you are free to take entry at any point, as long as it's still shorter than the previous one. Which means at any point when you check from here, you can take entries up to this point. You see? So now when we get a new candle, obviously you're expecting the candle to do what? To drop a bit. Then we get our direction a bit. So that is why it's advisable. I always tell you guys that please make sure don't take entries at the tip or at the top of the candle, because that's where you're going to make mistakes. So what you do is at any point before you check the height of the previous candle. At any point before that, first you confirm with the length, they're at the same level. Now you come, you want an entry, you check. At any point, as long as your new candle, the confirmation candle or the new candle is still smaller in size compared to the previous sale, then you can take interest. So, okay, here is the situation. If you can check at any point when the market changed, we had this situation. We had this candle being equal to this one. It's a confirmed change of market. At this point, this candle is at the same level. This one, the market changed. At this point, they're at the same level as you can see. At this level, they are the same. The market changed. They are the same. You see here, they're the same. The market changed. They are the same. The market changed. They are the same. The market changed. They are the same. The market changed. You understand? Can you see the pattern? Hello?
Yeah, I gave on a pattern.
Yes. So now, at this point, now you can see that, okay, it hit this point, but then we know we're expecting, remember, we're expecting a big movement, but then this movement now has a problem with this part, right? So that is where I say, guys, you can take your buy. We have confirmed it because we saw that we have this two here. But then at this point, I would say, guys, please keep holding the market. You hold the market, you're scooping as much profit as you can. But then what, for my side, as the mentor or this or someone who gave the signal, what I'm waiting for, the point where I'm going to tell you that now you can close, it's when I see this. I have to wait for that point where the market gives us two candles which are fighting at the same level, right? These things happen all these time frames. It's 1 minute, it's 5 minutes, it's whatsoever. Even where you take your entries, this is where we get our long retests. That is why I always say lock your profits and hold. Lock your profit and hold. So when we finally get to a point where we see this, now we know that, okay, we confirmed a buy here. The market is still buying, but now the market is going to have a long retest because it hit this support, our support. So it's going up, we know that. And for it to go up, we know that at the end it's going to hit this resistance. You understand? So when it hit that point of resistance, that is where we're expecting the market to change. But then we cannot take retest. So what we do is when the market goes up, we get this point, we take our profit, we wait for what? For re-entry. Now we get a point where you see the market was swinging till we got to this point to confirm that, okay, you know what, now we continue with our buy again. At this point, they are equal, they are fighting, they're not the same, right? So we take our entries. Now I can then say, please hold the market. I will give update if ever there are changes. So this market, this situation are the ones which make you to make mistake. You were buying, right? So when you are buying, now you can see that, why is it like there is a sell going, the market is like it's changing. I didn't say anything about the market changing. So you make a mistake of, you know that you're on top of a buy, but then you go and place a sell. And you make a mistake and do what? You place your sell maybe at this one, because now you can see that, why is it like this market is selling? You place your sell here, then the buy continues. You understand? So you blow your account. So if then we say we are buying, let's focus on that. So again, now you can see that your buy is continuing like that. So now you have to be able to identify those points. Okay, I can see that, okay, I'm in deep profit, but where do I expect the market to drop? So you check, you have this point. You see the market confirmed a sell here, then it dropped, but then at this point something happened. It was like, now we're buying again. You understand? So when you see that situation, this point is very important. So you come here, you identify that point, draw a line. The market hit this point, then it went up. So it means even this one will come here. So you see what is happening? It hit our support, it moved up, and this point was not just there. You understand? It's because of this point. You understand? So now you know that, okay, so there is another pattern going on. You identify this point. That is where you are supposed to take your entries. My network is unstable. What the hell? Okay. So now it means when you are in this cell, for example, if you took this cell, you know that, okay, if ever it happens that if I want to take my profit, where is my next stop? Can you still hear me? Hello. Okay. You identify your first take profit, which is this point. You see the market consolidated at this point, then it shot up. Then this point is a problem to us. You identify it. This is where you are going to have your first take profit. You wait for the market to do whatever it is going to do. Then you know that, okay, remember the big movement which I had from this level, it dropped to this point. But what do you have to do? Remember, you don't have to be greedy. You have to focus on the market structure. Now you identify this point. Now you can see that, okay, now my sell is finally confirmed. Now you continue. You save this profit. Now you re-enter. Where is your next take profit? Is at this point. So it means that if ever it breaks, remember you are inside this trend. So it means your next take profit is at this level where we drew the line, because the market hit here and then went up because of this support trend. Okay, so it hits here, goes up. So this is going to be our second take profit. But what these people do is they know that you know now how to analyze the market. You understand? So this is a common mistake that us as traders we make. They know that the market is going to change somewhere here. You understand? That is why now they introduce the technicals. They don't. The market won't change exactly where you expect it. You understand? If when now you're waiting for market to get to this point, now you say buy. You see, they gave you a buy candle here. That is where you make mistakes. They gave you a buy candle. Now you are confident. If you can check, look at this. Let me zoom it out. You see, at this point, they're at the same level. When you are like, okay, so the market is changing. Yes, it's 4 hours, but then this is that one point where you are not expected to hold the market. There is no way the market is going to hit your support 100% and it changes. You understand? So they know that, okay, they about the horizontal and support and resistance. So they skew somehow. They change the direction of the market. They skew the market structure. That is why now these points are still valid, right? But then they are not horizontal, they are skewed a bit. So now the market will then be forced to drop and hit what? When you are observing this one, you are observing the horizontal support, while their focus is what? On this diagonal one. You understand? So they break this part, then the market drops. When you are confident because you know that, okay, fine, it confirms the change of market, it gives you that buy. And when you come and enter maybe somewhere here, understand? You see what is happening. The problem now is this candle at this point it's longer than the previous candle, which means you can only take entries. Remember, I said the candle next to it, so it means our focus is on this smaller candle. At any point here, before it becomes longer than this one, you can take your entries. That is where you're going to maximize your profits. You're going to hit your profits, then you pull out because you are not sure. These are the signals which I prefer giving you guys in a way of, can you please use this opportunity to grow your account because a big movement is coming. Which movement am I talking about? I'm talking about this one. I know there is no way this thing is going to turn here, because if the market is going to change direction at this point, it means this support is not valid. So I'm waiting for it to be validated, which means it's going to hit this point. Now I wait for the market. It moves out of the support, saying that okay, your analysis are wrong. But then later on, the market comes back to this point. Now it's shooting up. Now that is where I give you guys signal. You understand? Because now we have a confirmation. We are not guessing what is happening, but it's good again for you to know that okay, when I take my entries, where exactly should I take entries? You see, so you take entries where you have two candles fighting at the same level. You go to your 1 minute, you go to your 5 minutes, you go to your 15. But if then you have a small account, I recommend that you use at least 5 and 15. But if you have enough in the account, then you can go to 1 minute. Personally, I prefer 1 minute because this is where you make a lot of money. So, but then it depends on how much do you have and how much are you willing to lose. So with this technique, I do at least trying that okay, I'm willing to lose maybe 10% of my capital. You understand? So when you place your order, it goes to profit. You can then place another one because you are protecting what you're protecting your capital. So the profit must pay for the losses of the next order. That is how we do it. So in this situation now, if then you were able to identify these things, you see, you came with your support, you came with your resistance. Now at this point, you were able to deal with this thing. And you know now, okay, if ever it happens, remember you still have a situation. Then this point is hit. We say it can only be support or it can only be a resistance if that point was hit at least 3 times. So at this point, if you check, this is 1, this is 2, right? So this market structure will not move with that momentum to hit this support because this is not a confirmed what, it is not yet a confirmed resistance. It must hit at least 3 times. So you know that okay, fine, now that it confirmed the buy and this one is owing me 1 touch, you see, then you can place your buy and hold. Now you see this one broke out. You understand? It broke out. This is warning to you as a trader. Oh, okay. Now we are going for that support, for that resistance that you are waiting for. Once it hits out, the only thing that the market is going to give you is those are entries. It means once it breaks out here, this side you are expecting entries. Already you are in the market. You took entries. You took entries. You took entries. Now it's dropping. These ones are going to lose, but you get another entry. So if you are in deep profit, you are confident again that okay, I understand that okay, I have orders which I lost, but can I add? Yes, because this side is protecting my orders. Now it pushes up, it hit this point. Now we can get that big movement we're waiting for. This one and this 1, 2, 3. It's confirmed. It's now a resistance. Now it shoots down straight to this point. You see? Now your analysis are successful. Do you understand? Hello. Hello.